The Vikings have a backup quarterback problem, and their options to fix it are limited. Let's break down a couple potential options. Minnesota Vikings backup quarterback spot has been the talk of this team for quite a while. Going into free agency, it's probably going to be Daniel Jones. Well, he ended up signing with the Indianapolis Colts because he saw an easier path to start. Now, when it comes to the other backup spot, well, you got Brett Rippon and Max Brosmer, who are underwhelming and a UDFA. So they ended up moving down in the draft 30 spots to acquire Sam Howell from the Seattle Seahawks. Now, will he end up being a good option? So far, he hasn't been. And his biggest issue has been that he cannot process quick enough. It was his issue with the Washington Commanders in 2023 when he was the starter, but he's got a good enough arm where he can make every single throw, and he's a gamer. He's got that Aaron Rodgers-like ability where if he sees 15 to 20 yards open in front of him, he can take it and capitalize on it. That's a really good thing to have when you're a backup quarterback. Problem is, he doesn't play like Aaron Rodgers the rest of the time. Where the Vikings really need to improve is that backup spot, especially if McCarthy gets hurt, which he's already done in the National Football League. We don't want to necessarily wish any ill will on anybody, but you have to be prepared. They weren't prepared in 2016 with Teddy Bridgewater, and that ended up biting them in the butt. Where things get interesting is I wrote a piece for Agency Sports talking about potential backup quarterback options, and I had 4 listed. 2 hours after it was published, Teddy Bridgewater, who was one of the candidates, signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There are 3 other candidates that are really interesting. One of them has been rumored to have been linked to the Vikings for a long time, and that is Tre Lance. He was a 3rd overall pick by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2021 NFL Draft, and he has less than 1,000 attempts since high school. Yes, he was a 3rd overall pick, and he was that raw, and he still has not gotten the development that he needs. When it comes to a backup, he's an athlete, he's got a big arm, and he can do a lot of the things that you want, and he's got projectable tools. The problem is, he both hasn't been very good, and he has not gotten the development he needs for a variety of reasons. Kevin O'Connell can maximize every quarterback that comes through this system. He's already shown that he can take Josh Dobbs, who was here for 5 days, call plays through a headset, plays that he doesn't even know, and win a football game in come from behind fashion. He's 34-17 as the head coach. And when he has the starting quarterback for an entire season, he's 27-7. That's pretty impressive. You get Lance in there, maybe you can get something out of him. And hey, maybe that becomes another 3rd-round compensatory pick if he has to come in for J.J. McCarthy. Now, he would require a trade because he's with the Los Angeles Chargers, but it's a very intriguing option. When it comes to the free agent market, there's one guy that continues to ring a bell, and that's Carson Wentz. Wentz was the 2nd overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, 6'5", 230, and he is built like a franchise quarterback. He has some of the same flaws as Sam Howell, though. The processing and the decision-making just isn't up to par, even though the arm talent is, and he's got some athletic ability where he can run the ball and he can use his legs to pick up yards. But what's really interesting is he's played in the system before. He spent some time with the Los Angeles Rams, and he's bounced around the league. He's somebody who could be an impact player for the Vikings as a backup quarterback. Now, is he going to lead this team to Super Bowl? Absolutely not. This is not going to be 2017 Carson Wentz that was trending to be the most valuable player when he tore his ACL against the Los Angeles Rams. But he can provide a really interesting perspective for McCarthy because he ended up kind of becoming a bust over the course of his career and was replaced by Jalen Hurts, who was just Super Bowl MVP. That experience can really help figure things out for McCarthy as he goes through those learning pains. The 3rd guy is somebody every Vikings fan knows, Kirk Cousins. Now, I would be against this move for multiple reasons, mainly because he was the most divisive player in my time being a Minnesota Vikings fan, where a lot of people just did not like him. A lot of people thought he was like a deity. Well, the reality is this. He's kind of washed, and bringing him back to potentially create some kind of issue with J.J. McCarthy, well, I don't really want to implement or introduce any potential issues. Like, maybe there won't be an issue in the building. Maybe it's just, hey, J.J. McCarthy is 1, Kirk Cousins is 2, and that's the end of it. But the outside noise is what I'm talking about. What happens if McCarthy throws 3 interceptions? Are we going to get the sports talk stations, the podcasters coming on here and talking about, hey, we need to put in Kirk Cousins. JJ McCarthy's not it. That's going to happen, especially with a certain segment of Vikings fans that think he is just this incredible football player. That is not something I would want to introduce to JJ McCarthy, regardless of if you think he can handle, which I do believe he can. You have to play things smart. Plus, it's a $27.5 million contract you're inheriting, and next year there's $10 million fully guaranteed. Is that what you want? That's not something that I would want to bring into my organization for multiple reasons. Now, if Atlanta chooses to eat $17 million of that deal and you're bringing in 10, okay, maybe we can have a conversation then. But as things sit, that wouldn't be a path that I'd want to choose, but it's available. I'm Tyler Forness with A to Z Sports. Skol Vikings.